And this is where we left off last time. We've been working on cutscenes for quite a bit of time now, dialogue and cutscenes, because we're at quite a heavy story part at the moment in this current quest. And yes, Raindrop Chronicles is going to be a dialogue-driven RPG for sure. It's all going to be about awesome characters and character arcs and quests. So, the guys, the barrels and the box, Woody, and the cookie jar, they're all in a wagon at the moment, and there's going to be a hijacking. We've finished their dialogue scene, and then at some point during the conversation there's an interruption because the car gets hijacked. So we're going to be working on that cutscene today, and I'm hoping, all going well, we'll get that hijacking scene, all the framework, foundation of it all in place. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit rough around the edges today, because it's probably going to be one of those things we'll perfect over the week. But if we can just get it in place and make sure that things are working and we have a plan in mind, then that would be great. So we'll get that. We probably will be looking for some sounds as well today to go in the scene. So when we do test plays, I will probably mute the background music and put the in-game music on and the sounds so that we can hear it all properly. I'll have to plug my earphones in as well so I can hear. Right. So there's a few things to do. I mean, there's also a lot of visual work. The cart currently is a little bit plain. I mean, we can't really decorate it that much because there's not much space. There's not many blank squares, and the barrels do move around a lot too in the scene. So there's going to be very few squares that are available for an object or a decoration. We will change this curtain so it matches with what the wagon looks like a little bit more at some point too. And of course we're going to do the map here as well and make it look super fantastic because it's plain at the moment. But those visual things we will probably do at the end. I think my goal first is to get it all working, making sure the scene actually works, the hijacking, and we're happy with that, how it's looking. And once we've done that action scene, we'll start making it pretty visuals. We've done all the barrels in different directions as well. So if we have a peep at Photoshop, we got Carol, Meryl. This morning, just before stream started, I did Elvira as well because she wasn't actually done, but we needed to because there's a part in the dialogue where she walks and turns, so we had to do her. Hank as well, and as you can say, this was where we finished in our last Raindrop Chronicles stream before our little website break. We was in the middle of doing. The goal was to get Hank and Oliver together because it's for the hijacking scene, that bit is, but it's going to be a bit complicated because RPG Maker only allows, within the tile. So I'm going to see if there's a way around that today as well. Maybe there's a plugin or something we can do to get our desired look. And we got Oliver's as well. But there's other things we can add to these sheets, like expressions. We did it for Rose. So if we got Rose's sheet up, let's just get her up. Yes, we did some expressions for Rose. We got his kind of sad face, shocked face, bit of an angry face, bit of a happy face, and we used some of those during the scene before and after the scene sandwiching the flashback scene, and I felt it worked quite well. I think you guys liked it too. Do we have any variation on the wooden tiles? That's another thing too. We could always work on making doing something with these, because these are actually just the default tiles, these here at the moment, or just a random wooden tile I found. So yeah, things like the visuals, we're gonna, because we put a lot of effort into our Everbloom Forest parallax map, didn't we? I spent a lot of time doing them flowers and putting the cliffs on the little mini cliffs on the cliffs and vines, and I want to do that with all the maps, so they look like there's a bit of effort putting, and so it's not just bland and vanilla and stuff. So definitely. So once we've got this cutscene, once we're happy with it, and I'm sure at some point this week that action scene will be done and dusted, will be when we start prettifying it all, and then after that, once we finish the scene, we'll be going back to the present day in the Everbloom Forest, and we will very likely just be carrying on with the first boss, the Fruit Gang, and we'll be finishing off how that first boss works. The first phase was kind of 90% complete. We were almost done with that, but there's a second phase to that boss as well, so that will have to be done. And then other than that, we'll have to do the cutscene before and after the boss, and then I believe we'll be able to go back to Lakefall. We'll have the opportunity to add some side quests to the game at that time. Sorry guys, I'm putting on my slippers, my socks. There we go, got cold feet. So but we'll take it one step at a time. Hi Rod, how are you doing? And hi Mads, how are you guys today? I hope you're having a good Monday. How are things going? And I'm officially back to normal schedule as well, everybody, so no more need to miss me anymore. Okie dokie. Right, so where should we begin? Should we do a test play first? I think that'll be a good thing to just remind ourselves where we are at this point in the scene. We also, let's just get... We also have our Draw.io. And I did add more yesterday, because we hadn't done Hank's dialogue, guys. We had done all of it up to Hank, so I had to do that. So there's a few little extra bits, and I'm not saying this will be our final. What I'm thinking of doing, I mean, we have dialogue command, so if you click on that link, guys, you have to open it in the web app to see, I believe. Let me just double check that works, because it's been a few weeks, so it might be expired by now. But likely not. Yeah, I think it's all good. So if you open that, guys, you'll get to have a peek at this scene. We've got a few scenes on here, by the way, but this scene here, scene 7, is the particular one we're working on. So if you want to have a read, like, totally feel free to give some feedback. I'll probably put it in the dialogue discussion channel at some point as well, either during stream or after stream, so people can have a look. But my first, I think for a first draft, or I'm okay with what we've got, but it's always good to have feedback if anybody thinks, oh, actually, maybe this or maybe that. Is Oliver cute enough is a big question I have. He's got to be adorable, that's the goal. So if we look at Oliver's dialogue, if there's anything you think, well, he's annoying, not cute, then that will have to be changed. I think he's quite cute, but the important thing is that we give the characters their own voice as well, which I was trying to do. I changed a few little tiny bits to do that. I, for example, made people like Hank and Elvira not use exclamation marks. The characters also don't jump like Carol's and Meryl's do. I'm trying to like do their dialogue, just try and give them their own voice as best as I can, because I think sometimes if all the dialogue's the same, especially when we don't have voice acting, it you know, sometimes it doesn't make the characters feel as real. So, and it's Meryl and Carol, I've realised, are quite similar. maybe they could parallel each other in a way, but they have their differences too. For example, Meryl's a romantic. We've introduced her boyfriend. Carol isn't a romantic. Well, I think we've talked a lot about that, how she's a romantic option in the game, but as she is not romantic, she's very tsundere. She's an angry person. So Meryl kind of can get angry too, but so they've got that in common. She gets angry at Elvira. I think Meryl is also a bit more naughty. Not just because she wears the bra, but because she's just a bit more like how she teases Oliver. Carol sees that as mean. She doesn't like that. Carol's more serious. That's for sure. And I added a bit more Woody dialogue as well. I wanted him to have an answer back to Elvira rather than just not say anything. But feel free to have a peep, folks. Wanted to stop in and see how you're doing. Yay! Hope you've been doing well, Rod. Yes, it works. Yay! Okay, so, and here we've got a description of the scene here. So we finished here. This is the exact Elvira's final line. Is the last dialogue part we've done and added to RPG Maker. So we've got it all here. So we got to add the choice in now where the hero pops up and says, can we skip ahead? This has nothing to do with Rose, or tell me more about your companions. So this, I think, well, it was somebody in the community's idea to do this, because it's been considered that we expand this conversation and have a little bit more character building and between the gang. Well, they're not a gang. That's the fruits. The companions. But the problem is some players might not want to sit through a bunch of dialogue, especially if it's a second playthrough. So this option would allow the skip ahead. But some people who are interested in that, we can go on, have more dialogue. We haven't written that dialogue yet because it's not really the right time. I think we need to have a chat about a bit more about the characters and their storylines, and then that might inspire some ideas for the second part of this conversation that can come off here. For example, me just like doing this, I thought of something, and this story about that Meryl tells is interesting, and the fact that it's Axel, the oil drum boyfriend, that told her. It could foreshadow something, who knows? Maybe it could foreshadow that Axel has a bad relationship with his father. But it's very interesting as well, because there's a lot of talk about children and being born, and we know for a fact that these barrels weren't born from biological reasons. And it seems just from this conversation that maybe the barrels aren't aware of that, because they're talking as if they're normal, like they're humans in a lot of ways. So the whole like existence thing for the barrels and realising they're not really human is definitely an interesting philosophical theme and kind of thing we could explore with this game. I'm going to head off, so talk to you next time, whenever that may be. Take care, hopefully. Yay! Well, thanks for stopping by, Rod. It's always a pleasure to see you. Better to block out the quest than go back and expand on areas, though that's just the way I work. Block out the quest. What do you mean by that, Azrael? But yes, everybody's approach is different, for sure. At the moment, I'm totally not getting any ideas springing to mind for how the second part of this conversation could go. But I think there's definitely a possibility for something going there. And because we're not going to see these guys again for a while, it feels like an opportunity to make the most of it. But for now, we will revisit this, because who knows, we have a lot of streams, a lot of opportunities to talk about the characters, and people come up with great things, and I always write them down in my notes when someone does, and once somebody does come up with something awesome, I can be like, actually that could be really cool for the conversation on the cart. And if we like finished it and closed it up, we wouldn't get the opportunity to potentially do that. So it's good. I like to leave it open, and we'll see how things go. I have just what you need for each part of the dialogue, so the mechanics of the full quest in place, then go back, tidy it up, and add any extra dialogue options. Yeah. Okie doke. So there is commotion outside. See below for description of cart hijacking. Okay. So once we've had the find by Carol, we're gonna have the hijacking's gonna begin. Okay, so let's get this choice in. Show choices. So, can we skip ahead? This has nothing to do with Rose. But the barrels are far more interesting than Rose. Actually, that's a lie. Rose is an awesome character. Okay. So I forgot the settings I have for choices, so I'm going to just click enter for now and go back and see how I do the choices. Window right. Is that really how I do it? Yeah, I was going to say, it's dim, middle, choice 1 and disallow. Yeah, you're not allowed to cancel. Okay, we'll do the same for this. So because we're going to have tell me more about your companions, actually no, we'll switch these around. We'll put the tell me about your companions first, and the it has nothing to do with Rose. Can we skip ahead after? Because yeah, just for positioning, it makes more sense to have that lower, because then we can start the hijacking and it'll go. But the companion, yeah, I get what I mean. Okay. So now Carol, let's just switch them around on the dialogue thing as well. She's like, fine. Carol says erg a lot. I was quite interested to ask you guys as well what you think of like things like and oof in dialogue. What's the proper term for things like that? I don't know whether it's frowned upon, or whether it's something that people do. Yeah, and because Carol is speaking outside the flashback in this bit, we might have to change how the dialogue box is visually displayed. We'll say, hang on, let's find a Carol box. So we don't need it above her head here because she's saying it outside the flashback. We can have it dimmed maybe. We'll see how it looks. Bottom dim. It might look weird, but we'll test it. Could the flashback pause as she talks over it, or maybe fade the whole screen slightly as she talks outside of it? Yeah, this is a good opportunity to look at how other games do flashbacks in terms of scene design. I know Final Fantasy VII, when they did when Cloud talked about his past after the Midgar part, it did that. It kind of like went black when they were talking. So that's definitely an interesting approach. I think it's something to test and see which one works best, for sure. I guess it's, as long as it's not jarring to do that, then it could work. We will only know until we test. Okay, we'll see. We'll try it both ways and see what one works the best. But there's not much talking going on. Like, literally, it'll just be this and Carol saying fine, and then things will just carry on. If there was probably more dialogue, I'd probably feel inclined to have the screen blacked out, but it could work. We'll see. But okay, so now after this, I'd say the screen should probably we need to start the hijacking. So what visual ideas did we have for this? Let's look at our notes. So we got cart shakes as one. At the moment, the cart is moving. It's a very subtle vertical movement. It's not too crazy. But now the hijacking's happening, it makes sense for it to be more erratic, because the hijacker would be speeding off with the cart to escape. And that will be what will eventually cause Carol to roll out of the cart. We got to think about sounds as well going on outside, and we'll kind of merge those in with what's with the scene as well. Hi Binary, how's it going? Hope the day is going well. Yes, we're back to continuing the scene work from last time, and I've had to refresh myself because it's been a few weeks. The website definitely stole all my time from the actual game development, so it's all about getting back into it today. But we got a challenge, we got an action scene. First real action scene of the game, actually. It's been quite simple so far, just normal talking, characters moving, walking a bit, few facial expression changes we've had now and again, but we've not had anything like overly challenging to do in terms of the scenes. I think the most challenging thing we've done so far was when we pushed Fiona Buckington in the lake, and that worked quite well. Didn't think it would. I thought it was going to be messy, but it actually ended up being really funny. So let's see how this goes. I actually absolutely have no idea how it's going to go, so only testing this will show us how it'll be. Okay, so let's just have a look at what we've got. This is what we're doing. Let's just this is what we're doing to make the cart like move vertically, and it's on a loop. It's a script that moves the y-axis continuously. Because unfortunately, RPG Maker MV, and I think the previous RPG makers didn't do this, but it doesn't allow you to have a vertical shake, only a horizontal one. Where is it? Let's just remind myself. Yeah, shake screen, that's it. I think that might have been it. Believe it could have been, but it only does it that way on the x-axis, not the y. So I was pretty miffed about that, but luckily I found a script on the forums to fix that problem. So we're going to experiment with some shakes for sure for the car, and we've got a lot of other things to do, a lot of other visual effects, sounds, to see how it's going to look. So what we'll have to do, because we've got such a long bit of dialogue here, for testing purposes we'll skip it all while we're doing this action scene. So I'll probably put a label there to just temporarily while we test it, the action scene. But for anybody that does want to look at the dialogue that we've got, we've got it. So remind you again, that's the dialogue we've been working on. But we're kind of satisfied with how it is at the moment. It doesn't have to be the final draft. There's still room for changing it slightly if anyone believes anything could be. We want to make the best it can be, so we're up for suggestions to make the characters more amusing or interesting, or less wooden, more realistic. So feel free to have a peep. But for now, we're mainly working on the action scene. Hi Chub Cheeks and Autumn Fox, how are you guys doing? Are you from Britain? I am. It is definitely something I cannot hide with my accent. How are you doing, Chub, though? I hope you've been doing well. How have you guys been? Right, so let's get the labeling now. Actually, I was going to do a test play and just run through all the scene with you guys, but let's just get straight into the action. I mean, it'd be cool to keep it a surprise for you what the dialogue scene looks like anyway. But we did work on it a bit in the stream a few weeks ago before the break, and it's not much different now to how it was then. There's just a bit of extra hand dialogue is all, which you guys will see on Draw.io anyway. But what I am planning to do is a sneak peek thing, and certain dialogues in the game, certain scenes, certain battles, etc. I'll probably do a YouTube video on them so people can have a sneak peek. I don't want to do it for every single scene because that'll ruin the game for people, but I kind of want to pick some scenes and put them up on YouTube to show. You thought I was Australian. Do you write the dialogues in a text document first or only on the program? Usually while I'm thinking of rough ideas, I just write a notepad because it's just really easy to get up and type. It's not complicated, or you don't have to do any flows or time-consuming visual work in Notepad. But usually once I've got the ideas up in Notepad, I just put them into Draw.io because it's a really cool way to present it and show off on stream, and it's easy for people to see. And especially with a choice-based story with branching paths, having flows works much better than a text document. Very confusing to do once you start getting lots of choices with just a text document. But once we're happy with how it looks on our flow diagram, we just put it all into RPG Maker. And somebody mentioned once, is there a quick way to do that, like just import all the dialogue? But it's not so. Everything's very carefully crafted. Every single dialogue line I spend time carefully crafting, and everything's positioned above the character's events. So all in all, it doesn't matter to do things like this manually. Right. So yeah, let's get a label there for now so we can get straight to the hijacking scenes. I'll probably put it here. And this label will just be there temporarily for testing. Because we don't want to just, every time we do a test play today, we don't want to have to Oh, actually, that goes there. We don't have to go through all the dialogue every single time because it'll take too long. We'll just call it hijacking, actually, probably be easier. So now, putting that label in, as soon as this scene opens, it's going to skip all this dialogue and jump straight to down here, and this is where we'll start the hijacking. But at the same time, I actually will move it here because I want to see how the choice dialogue box looks and how Carol's box looks as well. We want to test that to see if it doesn't look too weird. So we'll put it up there instead. Damn, and also hi Douglas, I just realised that I answered your question but I didn't actually say hi to you. Welcome to the stream. Damn, I'm kind of obsessed with British accent, it sounds so cool just the way you pronounce. Well, thank you, I appreciate that compliment. Welcome to the stream. And guys, because we got a few new faces in today, or maybe you've been to the stream before, some of you, but just in case you are new, we do have a new website that was launched last week. It's in the title, but in case you want to just click the link and not have to type it in, we have a command here as well, so feel free to have a look. It'll tell you everything about the project, like what it's all about, what we do, and it's even got the characters and the story so far up there, and a bit of information about the world and the world we've got, and a bit of some screenshots. The world section's pretty bare at the moment because we haven't really built it yet much, but eventually over time it'll be filled with lore videos and factions and loads of interesting things as we build. And just this conversation alone has already potentially introduced some lore elements, and I'm very likely going to be doing YouTube video narrations. Very short ones, like some of them might only be a minute long. It all depends how complicated it is. And it'll just like talk about certain important lore bits of the game, just to keep people, bring them up to speed on what's going on. And Kung, did I say hi to Kung? How are you doing, Kung? How are you doing? I might have said hi already but forgot. Hope you're well, Kung. How have things been? Good to see you all. It's always good to see you all. Okay, so I'm nervous because I've never ever attempted an action scene in RPG Maker before. When I was a youngster and messed about with some of the older softwares, what I did was extremely basic. So this will be a true test of how quick I can pick up things. So there's going to be probably a bit of trial and error going on. There's going to be a lot of experimentation to get this action scene just right, and it'll probably be a bit rough around the edges at first, but the plan is so over the course of the week we will polish it so that it's at a stage you're happy with. But today I'd really like it if we can get the framework in place for this action scene. Anything that's going to be overly time consuming and that I feel like, oh god, that's going to be, I will put that to the side and think probably work on some things off stream if they're going to be boring or time consuming. But if we can like just get a sort of framework in place from start to end, that would be great today. So the first aim is to make the cart, have some cart sort of visuals going on. We're going to make the screen shake a bit more ferociously than it did before. So let's see. I'm going to test it with the script first, but I'm also going to test it with the shake thing in RPG Maker as well and see which one works best. But I don't think we're going to need the x-axis shake. We probably might just have the y-axis one be a bit more wild. So we're using the number 1.4. I think the bigger the number, the more crazy the shade gets from what I remember. So if I try it on 3, we'll see how it looks. So we'll play. So let's do a test now. And at the moment we'll keep the background music on. But once we start adding the sound effects, I'm going to mute the background music and turn the in-game sound on. So I have to actually, you're going to hear a bit of clashing music here, so let's just turn it off. There we go. So here we are. Hi Maz, how are you doing? Welcome. And did I say hi to VJ as well? How are you guys doing? Welcome. Missed you though. Yeah, I've missed you guys, honestly. One of the reasons I was getting frustrated with taking so long to finish the website was because I just wanted to chat to you guys and work on the game too. Clearly you are coding here, but what is this? But is this what your use of the right tag refers to, or are you designing story and narrative for this RPG? Yeah, coding is very minimal, folks. I even talk about a bit on the website in my about section in the footer that I'm not a coder. I don't have a coding background. So I'm more of a designer all in all, and I suppose someone who's very interested in fantasy fiction and writing and world building and characters and all that sort of thing. So this project is really more of a storytelling project, so really, yes, coding, it's obviously got to be in the game because you can't make a game without it. But luckily, there's a lot of RPG makers, very, very easy to get your hands on some free scripts and resources. That's cool. I'm looking for story crafters, making a list of writing related content that can be found on Twitch. That's absolutely awesome. That sounds super cool, Mouse. I'd love to hear more about it. Also, because you've mentioned this and it's actually very interesting, we do have a section on our Discord. It's called Creative Work, where I let you guys promote your thing. So feel free to pop a link in there. In that section on the Discord. I mean, no pressure, but I always just like to let you know so people are aware of it. But yeah, I would totally love to know more streamers that do writing as well. I feel like it's a very, what's the word? Unappreciated. I don't know about if unappreciate's the right word, but very kind of not a focus on the platform, because there's not even a category. Ever since the creative category got split, I noticed they've got all these categories like crafting, art, science and technology, music, but there's no writing, and it's kind of sad for writers because they could have easily just used the creative category before, but what category would they use now? It's definitely a bit of and because this project itself is very hard to categorize. I can't really pick a category that sums it up. I just tend to go in the science and technology category because it is overall a game dev project. Out of everything, that's what sums it up the most, but it is far more than that in reality, because there's writing and like community making and all the like that we're doing. So it's even like a bit like D&D in a lot of ways, just a game, but there's the improv that we do, the story we write as we go along. So there is a huge base of users that seem to be unable to find each other. I'm working with a few people to try to address the difficulty for these people to connect. Well, that's awesome of you, as I think you're onto something here. So best of luck, and I would love to find out more, that's for sure. Sharing ideas, looking for collaborators, list of resources, that sort of thing. Cool. That's fabulous. Okay, and thank you for the follows as well, folks. Patient Pixel, welcome to the stream. And Also, guys, I'm going to show it off again. I'm showing it off constantly at the moment. The website that has just been launched. Feel free to have a little look. Thank you for the follow, Eld. Welcome to the stream. And thank you, Mez, as well. If I've missed at saying thanks to anyone, then I apologise, but I appreciate you. No problem, I'm just hanging out. Yeah, feel free to have a look. Feel free to have a look. I appreciate that, folks. And welcome. So we're here at the moment. We're on our test play screen. This is a particular cutscene we're working on at the moment, and I am skipping some of the juicy parts so that we can do some testing, because we're working on an action scene, and there's usually going to be a lot of dialogue here. But we're skipping the dialogue just for testing at the moment, so we can see how our action scene's going to look. First of all, I think this needs dimming out because we're in a flashback, so it'll probably look better if it is dimmed. Did I just click the tell me more about your companions? I swear I clicked the other one. And Carol's box is meant to pop up here, but it hasn't. So let's fix that. That bug already. That's what happens when you test play. Okay, so because I have it on dim, but it didn't seem to work, and I think that's because I'm using a custom background, not the default one, so I might have to get around that somehow, but it's a little bit technical to do right now, so we're going to just leave it and accept what we've got for now. So can we skip ahead? That nothing to do with Rose. Okay, so that's what we meant to click, and then Carol's box will come up, so let's test that again. I must have clicked the wrong one. Ghosty, thank you so much for the 20 months in a row. Oh my goodness me. Did it say in a row? It's silly Twitch. Hosted with 1 viewers. How are you doing, Ghosty? I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that sub. How are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. How are your cosplays getting on? I've seen some of them on the Instagram. They look amazing. Thank you for the hi, Pasriel. I'm going to run off and keep working on my list. Have a good stream. Thanks for hanging out, Maz, and good luck. Have an awesome day. Ghosty, thank you for those bitties. Are you number 1 on the... Oh, yeah, we got a new leaderboard for the month, I see. Ghost is number 1 now. Thank you, Ghosty. Okay, so we're back to the testing. Probably end up skipping the choices bit once I've confirmed it's working. I might even skip this scene here, just so we don't have to wait. It's pretty hard too because it's a separate scene. For some reason, Carol's dialogue box isn't working, and I don't know why. Silly bugs indeed. And I definitely clicked the right one that time. The reason it's probably not working is because I haven't placed it above anywhere. That's probably why. It must have to... I think just for now, we'll do that. We'll put it above Carol's head, even though we don't want it like that, because it's not Carol in the flashback that's going to be saying it. But this is something like this is something I got to spend a bit of time on to see how it should look visually. Because we've never had this before. We've never had to do a flashback scene and have dialogue happening outside the flashback. And obviously we want to make sure it looks good and it isn't jarring to people. But I'm just going to make sure the text is actually appearing for now. That's the main thing. And once we know it is, I'm going to move this hijacking label down here, so that we can test what we need to do at the moment. And I have turned the in-game sounds off, I believe. Double check, because I remember the one stream I didn't do it, and I didn't have my earphones in, and the black background music was on in the game and on YouTube. But luckily it was quiet, so I don't think any of you noticed, because I tried to not have the background music on super loud. Okay. And at the moment, we've got a very boring loading screen, just black. We've now loading. That's the default. Before episode 1's release, we're gonna take the time to make a really cool custom loading scene. Okay. So it has dimmed it. And this is the kind of effect I think could work. If we can do that with the choice boxes as well, then I think that will show that this is happening outside the flashback. It'd be really cool to see how some other games handle talking outside of flashbacks. Final Fantasy VII with the whole cloud flashback is one, but I can't think of any other games that do them off the top of my head. But you gotta have inspiration. Like raindrops falling down over the screen. Who knows? I mean, Zexy had a cool idea, which was to have like a sort of bit of text at the bottom, like that would build the lore. Similar to how Skyrim do their loading screens. I think did The Witcher do it that way too? And whatever the background scene will be is definitely something to consider. It could be a landscape, it could be anything. It could be something minimal, it could be something detailed. That's definitely something to think about. Intriguing. But I definitely liked the text at the bottom with a bit of lore building, because it just makes it a bit less boring, doesn't it then? And the players are learning things at the same time. Hi Rose. Hi Gretch, how are you doing? Good to see you. I hope you're having a fab day. Okay, so we've seen that the cart is moving a bit more erratically now. I think we need to make it even more erratic than that. And we'll have some sounds as well. Because we do have a cart sound, very subtle at the moment. You can't hear it because the game sound is muted. So we'll want one that's definitely more loud. But I think now is the time to, next time we do the test play, I will turn on the in-game sound. Okay, and I'll have to put my earphones in as well. Oh dear me, I've just realised something. Drat. What it is, the characters are currently positioned in the wrong places. Because we've skipped the label. Damn. Do we really have to go through all the dialogue every time we test this then? I need to think of an easy way to do this. I suppose something we could do. We could always just copy this scene. Paste. Let's do that. And I'm going to call it testing inside wagon. And what I'm going to do then, this just for testing purposes, I'm going to build a new scene and get them all in the positions that they should be. And then once we're happy with it, it's just a copy and paste job then. So we got to just put in what's in the testing scene into the real scene. But I think this will probably be the easiest way to do the testing rather than try and mess up the actual scene. So Hank is there, Oliver's there, Elvira's there, and Carol's there. Meryl's facing that way. No, she's not facing that way. She's facing that way. Carol's facing up. Hank has a face. And so does Elvira. And Oliver's facing up. I'm pretty sure that that's how they're positioned, because I've done this scene. I've been working on it so much that I kind of know it off by heart now. So I'm going to just double check. Yeah, Elvira says that's my street. She doesn't face left, she faces the front. Okay, so that's where they all are. And then what we can do is just delete all this, because this is our fake scene, so it doesn't matter. Don't worry, I'm not deleting the real one. Imagine that, cry. I think I accidentally deleted something I shouldn't have, so. And we'll delete the choice bit with the hero, because for now, that is something I'm going to mess about with off stream, getting the look of how the boxes look, the dimmed effect just right. We'll see. And whether we fade it to black or not, I'm going to test that too and see what works best. But let's like not go off track today. Let's get the foundation in place of this action scene like I promised. It's very easy to go off track and end up working on something else that's ended up popping up. But let's not. It's definitely something I'm going to try to do. Keep on track in the stream. Hi Az and Riss. Get deleted. How you doing? Got two Az's in the stream now. Azriel and Az and Riss. Welcome. How are you doing? Hope you're having a cool day. Okay, so delete the weight. So yeah, background sound is horse and wagon. That is kind of that's the sound we currently got for the cart. It's very, very subtle, but enough to know that you're in a cart. I don't think it plays in the RPG Maker game editor though. I'm going to put my earphones in now, because we're definitely going to start adding sounds at this point. Can't have an action scene without sound effects. So hoping this doesn't screw with OBS, because sometimes it has done when I've switched from my headphones to my earphones. We'll see. Too many A's. Alchemist Merlin, thank you for the follow. I like your name. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. We were confused, Rose. No, it's cool to have Az's in the stream. We'll have loads of you. Okay, so is the sound working? Oh, this is full blast now on my end. For some reason, my earphones are way louder than my headphones. So let's turn them down. I think it's the same on stream as it was. So looking at the OBS thingies, they haven't changed. So I don't think your ears are bleeding or anything, chat. So that's good. Hi Eric, oh it's good to see you again Eric. Hey there, hitting up the grocery store, so going to alert mode for now. Wanted to say hi, well thanks for stopping by. Hope you've been well, it feels like it's been a while. So I hope you get some yummy foods from the shop. You better get some yummies. Okay, so it's still super loud on my end. Okay, so I'm going to pause our wonderful music that we have in the background just because we're now at a point where we have to start adding some sounds. But no, it appears I'm pressing play here. You guys can't see the pop-up, but you can hear it on this screen. It's not working. I don't know why RPG Maker doesn't allow you to listen, but in-game you'll be able to hear it. Now we got we don't need the label now because we're doing a fake scene. So one thing I want to do is actually make this a bit more erratic, because I think on 3 it was still not enough. I'm paranoid that I'm accidentally going to delete the real scene. I keep looking to make sure. So we've not got our background music on at the moment, but we do have the sound, which is good because I kind of want to only test sound. I don't want any background music in the game, sort of masking it. The background music I'll add last, though I do have a track that is going to be playing. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm kind of tempted to set the starting position as here, but it might screw with things. So what I'm going to do instead, I might still load from the game. We've got flashback inside wagon. So I'm going to, we don't have to do the outside wagon sequence. It might take a bit of time. But what I am going to do, this is our save point, this is where we load the game. I'm going to make this particular square here. I'll move that to our fake testing screen. No, not that one, that one. That's weird. I'm literally clicking the scene, testing inside WAG. Oh, it's because I haven't clicked the position, that's why. Duh. Silly me. There we go, now it's working. Have I got the right coordinates? Okay. That's it. So I have to be in the right position because otherwise it'll be a bit off center, I believe. So we pop it there. But one thing we do have to do to make sure this does work is we have to turn followers off. What was the game cell switches? Oh, that was for Oliver appearing. Yeah, we need to copy those 4 things as well and put them there. Otherwise, we will have the hero and Rose in the scene. We will see their sprites, and we don't want that. So that's what that is for. But this should take us directly now to the testing scene, and it'll go straight to the hijacking. But first, I do actually want to test it how it was before with the slightly calmer cart shake, because I want to see the difference. Oh, hang on. I'm just going to put a weight in between. just for 300 frames, and then we'll see the difference. Hopefully that'll work. Let's test. Hi Wolfman, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Monday. Monday's usually not people's favourite day of the week, but when there's a Rose and Raindrop Chronicles stream, it should be. Okay, we didn't tint the screen. I've just remembered. But this don't matter. But we want to make it look like how it should, so. I feel like this has been going on longer than 300 frames now. It definitely has been. The reason why it's not doing it, it's my bad. I've done it wrong. It's because it keeps looping it. We're in forever a loop here, so we have to do this differently. What we did before, we just had it in a parallel event, so we're going to do it the same way. And we'll just turn on a switch, I think. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So, did we have it as 5? So we got 2 pages there. We'll just turn. We can just use a self switch for this, can't we? We don't need to do an actual switch. Don't want to waste those special precious switch slots. On. So, oh, we don't turn it on here though. Now this is where it gets complicated with self switches. You have to use a script, I believe, if you have to trigger it on another event, which is fine. So what we're going to do, let me just copy and paste that script. It's a bit of setup to doing this, but it'll be worth it because it means we don't have to go through the whole scene to test. And then when it's done, when we're happy, I can just copy and paste into the real scene. Lucas, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So we don't need them there now because we put them in the other one. But we got to set up the self switch. So A true, 1 and 19. Now I think the first number represents the map, which is 21. And what does that represent? The event, I believe. So that is event 8. Yeah. And it is on parallel, yeah. So that should work. So, but first, yeah, we'll keep that wait because we want to see the difference. So once it's finished the 300 frames wait, it'll trigger the script. The script will trigger, should I say? And all that'll happen is that'll self switch is on, and it will change the vertical shape to a stronger one. That should work. I hope so. Slight bit of green screen going on in the background. But it's no biggie. You only see it when there's a black background. Yeah, we still haven't put the tint on. I forgot again. Okay. So, if you saw that, we got a stronger shade now. And it's meant to represent a hijacking happening. But obviously there's a lot of other things we need to do to pull this scene off. We can't do that alone. This is just one of many things we're going to do to put this action scene together. So let's just quickly add that tint again so that we got that done and over. Okay, it's not there. Did we add it here? No, the tint is here. There. Okay, so we'll have the nighttime tint on now. Save. Okay, so let's go back to right, so cart shakes, weapon sounds, human screams, hawks, auction scream, wheel sounds, car banging into things, objects falling in the cart, falling over. Okay, there's so much to do. Lots of little bits and bobs, and I feel like we should do the key things right now. And like I said, we're going to slowly polish and expand on this action scene over the week. But as long as we can get the main framework in today. So we've got here the cart speeds up and turns dramatically, but I've been thinking we don't necessarily have to have it turn. We're on a straight road at the end of the day. If we look at outside the wagon here, it's a complete straight road. We don't know the direction that the hijackers are going in, but we can just assume that there's no like fork in the road just yet. I think if we show them just speeding up, which is what a hijacker would do because they want to get away as fast as possible, that would be enough. We don't necessarily have to have a turn, because the reason I don't want to add that is because it could overcomplicate things, and I'm not sure I could pull such a thing off. I'd have to at least have a visual reference to see how I could handle something like that. Right, so I've got a YouTube video here. I just kind of wanted to use this as a reference for sound effects more than anything. But also to visually see what's going on too. I can't even hear any sounds. It's super quiet on my end. Turn it up a bit. This is a hijack gone wrong though. We'll have a successful one at least. So just that, we got sound effects going on. We got a weird man screaming, someone thrown on the floor. But yeah, these are all the real detail parts that I can add in later too, like horse whines, knocking and everything. There's just, we could go all out and add so many different little extra touches if we wanted to. So if anyone does have any ideas, feel free to say, and we can always add it to our list. But today I mainly definitely want to get, I did say we'll do sound effects, and I'm not saying we won't, but I also definitely want to get Hank rolling as well as Carol. No, not Hank. Carol rolling, but Hank getting injured is what happens. And as well as Rose as well, if we can show her getting involved in the attack with the hijackers. So we got to do some outside the cart scene too. It's quite complex, but we can totally do this. I have returned. Hi again, Mez. Welcome back. Okay. I feel like we should at least get a more hectic sound effect with a cart rushing. And I really want to listen to the current one we've got to compare, but RPG Maker doesn't let us open in the editor, so I'm going to have to open it manually. I'm going to go in the sound effects menu. So audio, BGS, horse and wagon is what we've got. I'm going to just play that. And I might turn up the sound for you all actually, so you guys can hear it too. So it's probably very quiet on your end when I do play it. But this sound, I don't know. Let me know if it's too quiet. And I will turn it up. Otherwise, I'll keep it the same. I do think it's there a bit, but it might be quiet. I'll just put it up a touch. But as long as you can hear me speak. If you can't, I don't want it too loud. But that's our current one. It was off, I think it was off freesound.org. So if we can get a more hectic one that sounds similar and not too like out of place, then we can do that. So I'm gonna go back on actually. It's a Midlands accent, you're correct. I'm from the Midlands. So if I put in wagon hijacking, will we get something? Sometimes if you're that specific, it doesn't work. So here we go. We can see there's no results. But there are other sound websites out there. Sometimes it takes a little bit of searching to find what you're after. Right, we got Audacity. I'm just going to open that as well. If I right click this, will it let me open it in Audacity? Open with. It might not open these kind of files. The reason why I'm trying to do it that way is because opening in Audacity, I've got to go through all my RPG Maker folder. My pinned folders aren't showing up for some reason. So I'll just be a moment. Yeah, it doesn't open an M4A. Will it open an MP? Yeah, okay. It's open this one. Could we potentially manipulate this to get what we want, maybe? Maybe that's the better thing to do rather than trying to look for a whole new sound effect. I am no sound pro. I'll tell you that. So I want to see what happens if I speed this up, or how it sounds then. Can't even find the speeder changer. Change speed, that's it. Sounds the same. To you, it's London's up north. Wow, it's really made that sound a bit different. But yeah, things like this require a bit of experimentation, and you could just spend hours just messing about to get these things how you want them to, which is why I mentioned it's cool to get a foundation in place first for the scene before doing all the nitty gritty. Is that the word, nitty gritty? Yeah, what I've tried so far hasn't really worked, but either I find another sound effect that works well with the one we've got, or I edit this one to get what we want. But for now, I don't know if what was this one called? I've got it somewhere. I can't remember where I've recorded it, because maybe the person who made it has another version. It just needs to be sped up and a bit more wild, really, is all. So the one we've got is more slow and subtle. I think maybe this was the one. See, even something like that might work. It just got to sound a bit, you know, even a combination of these. It's something I'm probably going to have to put together in Audacity, perhaps. Maybe a mishmash of these things, we'll see. But for now, we will revisit this shortly, either later in stream or off stream. But one thing that's really important for me to do, which I've been wondering how to pull it off, is the scene that's going to be happening in here during the hijacking, where Carol, we wrote a description of it in our dialogue section here. Carol falls and starts rolling towards Oliver. Hank jumps in front of Oliver. Okay, so let's do this one at a time, one step at a time. Andy Cake, how are you doing, Andy? It's lovely to see you. How is your new PC treating you? Okay, so okay, looking at the scene, Carol needs to be parallel to Oliver, so I'd say she's going to move and get a bit during the hijacking. She's going to like probably move from left to right fast and panic. We have to show like the panic and reactions of the group, really. Hank could probably do the same. He has to move here. He has to move there, and Carol has to move here because she needs to be parallel to Oliver and start rolling. And then Hank is like, no, and he goes in front of Oliver, grabs him, and Where is it? Where's the Oliver and Hank thingy? Here it is. We need to edit it so it looks better, but this is kind of what we're going for. Yeah, if we can do that, I don't even know. I need to look into this to see how to make a bigger tile. Otherwise, we'll just have to split it into different tiles and put them all there. We'll see. That's the messy way to do it, but if we have to do it that way, we will. Because otherwise, if we try and squeeze Oliver on that one tile, it just looks too squashed. She's lovely. Oh, it's a lady computer. Mine is too. She's an old lady now. She doesn't have a name though. Forgot to give her one. You had an awful day. Oh no, I hope it gets better. Hope it improves as fast as possible. We'll cheer you up, Andy. Okay, so let's see this. Let's just get them where they were originally and start adding in some positions with them. So we've got Carol. She's event for it. And yeah, I believe they're all the exact same events as they were in the previous scene, so which is good because then it's just a copy and paste job when we put it into the real scene. So Carol is event free. Move left, move right, and we'll change speed. Can we loop this as well? Maybe that'd be a good idea, but we'll see. We might not need to. Speed. She might look a bit manic like this, but we'll see. Can repeat the movements. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, which means if we repeat the movements, we don't need all of those. I feel like she's not going to panic straight away. It's got to be a bit of a reaction first before she panics. Let's just test this. We're going to test this bit by bit as we do it, just because it's nice to see everything working one step at a time rather than doing a test play after a while and then realising you've got a ton of things to do at once. Okay, so Carol's not working. Could I do something wrong? I did move left and move right. Maybe that's the problem. She has to move right first and then left. Let's do it again. You know, it's bad when it gets you angry face, and it's very rarely. Yeah, I couldn't imagine you angry, Andy Cake. It must be bad. Feel free to vent in our Discord if you want, because we do have the shelter channel. Always an option for you guys. True Baldy! Oh my goodness me. Look at you with that Twitch Prime 5 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, True Baldy. I appreciate that you haven't forgot me. And Bat is so big that he makes green screen appear when he comes in the scene. It's his big ears, that's what it is. Appreciate that, True Baldy. Can we have some hype in chat, please, for the very generous and lovely True Baldy? Hope you've been well, True Baldy. How are things going? How is life? How could I, my dearest Rose? Oh, well, we appreciate you. We all think you're awesome here, True Baldy. How is work? How is the music going? Also, it seems like the Carol thing isn't working still. It's very weird. And you know what? I know exactly what it is. I know now, and it's something very silly. Damn it! How am I going to do this? What it is The reason Carol's not moving is because the hero's there. He's invisible, but he's there. And I could easily just teleport the hero there so he's out the way. But it might make the screen off centre, that's the thing. I believe I put him there because it's the centre. So we'll just test to see. But if it isn't centred, we'll just put him back and just have to make him able to be walked over, I guess. I don't know how to do that, but I'm hoping there's a way. He's invisible at the end of the day. Should be able to walk over him. Currently at home for the week since I am sick. Oh my goodness. Hope you get better soon. But at least you get to rest and chill and have a break. You know it's not good that you have to be sick. I hope it gets better soon. Running nose and coughing a bit. I hope you recover and you get to spend the week doing lots of relaxing things. Oh my God, look at Carol. I had a feeling that was going to happen. But good thing is, the card's still centred even though we moved the hero. So, good. We'll leave him there because he's out of the way there. But we definitely need to make Carol a bit less hypo. Also, I'm going to just sort out my green screen, everyone, because I can see that it's being a little bit silly today. There we go. I'm confident I will make a full curry. I believe in you. You will. Just have lots of drinks and look after your throat and your nose. Being self-critical is a must because you can't always be correct. Yeah. Oh, Discord's broke for you? Yeah, I think it's a normal emotion to get mad. Nothing wrong with getting mad or having negative emotions. It's about how you handle those negative emotions. Could be better, but not that bad after all. Yay. Okay, so let's fix Carol because she's gonna feel a bit sick if we keep her like that. I didn't realise the speed 6 would make her that fast. What if we ever run that? That'll probably still be a bit much. Also got to think about how Hank's going to react too. Well, we got to think about how all of them are going to react. Because I spend a lot of time crafting scenes. I don't want to just do a rush job and make, I want to make it as fun as possible. Quality over quantity is my motto. So, was Hank scene 5? He was. Move left. Oops. So we don't want that one on repeat if we have that, but he might look very silly, but I will kind of want to see what happens if he does that. You only know until you try. Put a nausea warning on the game. Yeah, this is it's going to be an interesting scene to put together, because we could go all out and really have it be so violent if we wanted to. We could have dead horses, blood everywhere, a lot, but then the game would officially become an R-rated game once we take that move. I was reading about it actually, because there was a bit of discussion, I think it was last stream actually, about the game. Someone came in asking if there'd be gore in the game, and my response was like, well, it's not going to be for children, but it's not going to be R-rated either. It's going to be like in between. But sometimes it can be limiting if you put that on yourself, if you say no blood. And the fact is, we do have a vampire in our game, a main character vampire. And what is a vampire without blood, right? So I'm afraid it's going to happen. There will be blood. There will be blood in Raindrop Chronicles. But it's not going to be like, there's not going to be any like swear words in the game. Like I said, we're going to have fictional. We're going to have fictional curse words, because it gives us an opportunity to be creative rather than like, so we're not going to have like, it'd be like anything like F. I never say it, so you can't make me swear. But but in terms of the violent one, that's like the one that we're going to struggle with the most, it being like a game that involves killing people, and you know, so it might happen. We might have to be violent and have it be an R-rated game if it does cross that line. But and lewd things we keep to a minimum too. We do have like little small innuendos here and there. Like Carol talking about the hero being inside her, and we can have romance options. We can have a brothel in the game, but at the same time, there's not going to be anything explicit. Have a whole week off, so it's a good compromise. I will get better soon. I can already feel it. Yay! So how long has it been since you've had this silly cold? If it's been a few days, then that's usually it starts coming to an end after then, doesn't it? Haven't used Discord that much. I kind of have Discord tabbed open most of the time. It's a habit now. Okay. Back to the testing. Oh my goodness me. This is a horror movie. This is nightmare fuel. I can't stand to see her climb. Oh god. What's happened to Carol? Why has she moved to that side of the room? And it's still too fast. Okay, Carol's broke now. So we're going to have to slow it down. Sorry guys. Nausea warning. Move right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. I'm still confused why Carol moved, because she should be constantly moving right and left. And then she was like on the other side of the room for some reason. So we're going to put it on normal. I'm worried that's going to be too slow now though. Why is speed 5 so fast? That's what I'm wondering. Because that is like we said, nausea warning. And I feel that normal, the speed under it, that is not going to be fast at all. Because we'll soon have to see. I might go down and get some fruit soon. Oops. Carol moving is much more realistic now. I think I'm okay with that. Hank, no. I'm sorry, my dude. We're not having that. It would be more believable if it's just funny. Okay, so Meryl's got to react somehow. Honestly, they all have to react. fact we can't have anyone just standing there when there's this commotion happening. But I think we're going to just focus more on Carol, Hank and Oliver right now, simply because they're the ones involved in the main action. The other characters just kind of are in the background. Why is Carol moving up there? I really need to know why it's doing this. She shouldn't be, but I think what we're going to do, we're not going to have it on repeat, so because we're doing a scene, so we're going to have a set number of times that she's going to move like this, and then we can carry on with the dialogue. We'll just switch it back to this scene for a little bit. There was no sound, was there? Even though we did play it, there was no sound. And I have it on, I've got my earphones in. Okay. Put it on slower, see what happens to him then. He's meant to move left, but he didn't. Okay, so I don't know, we might have to have the repeat, you know, if we... It's interesting how to approach this. Still very interesting why it has that bug. One more test, and then we'll get Hank properly sorted. Yeah, there's no sound. Let me just check. Oh, I can't now. Oh, I can. Ah, that explains it. Start on that for now. Oops, we still got the Ever Bloom Voice music in the background. So we haven't got any dialogue planned for what they're going to be saying during this, but I think there'll probably be some like what's happening, some, you know, shocked reactions perhaps. We haven't particularly thought of any lines just yet, but we'll add those extra little bits in probably afterwards. At some point Carol's going to have to stop walking and she's going to start rolling. So that is probably why we're not going to have it on a repeat, because of that. Pork, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Oh, thank you. I'm from England. Welcome to the stream. And welcome. Thanks for stopping by. We make a game here in this channel. And if you want to see our new website that we've just made, feel free to have a look. I'll tell you everything about it on there. Anybody who's lurking, that goes to as well. Appreciate the follow. Right, so we're going to just, instead of repeat, do this. And that will probably at least stop it from breaking. And we're not going to have much dialogue, so it's not like we have to have it run in the background. It'll play out as an action sequence without pause, so it doesn't really matter to have it on repeat, I'm hoping. So we'll untick that box. We might remove or add some of those depending on how we feel. And now we'll get that speed back. Maybe if we put the move left in the same one as this, then it'll work. Maybe it was because it was in a separate event. Get rid of the repeat. So that's just Hank and Carol. We've got a challenge on our hands now though, because we're gonna have to make some new sprites for Carol and Hank. We did start the one with Hank with Oliver, so we'll be doing some of that because they're essential to get the scene built. But at this point, I do want to test Carol staying where she is. So, right, and then she'll roll at this point. So, I'm actually going to just turn her down here. Just so we know. When we know how long it is then. Let's do a test. But yeah, I'd really like to get the this scene done by the end of this week's streams. That would be cool, but we'll see how it goes. Because sometimes things crop up and you're like, oh gosh, that's going to delay me. But who knows, we'll see how we go. Okay, so I'm only looking at Carol at the moment rather than Hank. And I don't think she needs to move left and right for that long. Not right now, at least. Unless we add things happening before it. Hank, I didn't watch at all. But I don't think he was working quite right. Have him on the norm, slower. 3. Okay, so I think what we need is a weight between these. That's why he spins and we get nauseous because there's no way in between. And we'll get rid of some of these. Yeah, and if we're happy with how this looks now, we will start a Carol roll animation. Okay, so Carol's fine. Hank needs a tiny bit more work, but I think we're at a stage where we can at least put in Carol's role now. So this doesn't have to be complicated. We could literally First of all, because this is the simplest way, just to literally rotate her, I want to see how this looks. And if it looks weird, then we just adjust it afterwards. But yeah, before we do the rolling, let's get the positioning done first. So let's save her. So then at this point, her graphic is going to change. Okay, it's still not there because sometimes you have to restart the software. Sometimes you don't, but sometimes you do. So let's reload RPG Maker. Meeting time, oh my goodness. I hope it goes well. Best of luck, Asriel. Okay, so one thing I think I do need to do, which I've just realised I haven't done, is I need to repeat that rolled image on all 3 rows. Or columns, whatever you want to call them. Because otherwise it'll be an invisible sprite there. Just how RPG Maker works. You can't actually specifically pick a frame, you know, you have to, it's weird because the other RPG makers were different, but now you can't pick frames, so it definitely makes doing action scenes a bit trickier than it would have been in the old ones. It would just save a bit of space if you didn't have to do that, really. You could save it for other things. I don't think we need the wait to be that long now. We've confirmed it's okay. Oh, I didn't notice. I wasn't paying attention to her switch of sprite. So let's just have that as 120 frames rather than 300. I don't think it looks too bad, you know. There's not much more you can do with pixel art in terms of the transition of her standing straight to being on the side, because if we had a diagonal transition, it's hard with pixel art to pull it off. I mean, we could just attempt it in Photoshop right now to see how it looks. Who knows, maybe it actually doesn't look too bad, and I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, this is what I mean, it goes all there. Whereas obviously turning it on at a 90-degree angle each time, you keep your sharpness, but you don't need to keep if you have it at an angle. So, but it looked fine, honestly. It would probably be weird, you know, if we didn't. So I'm okay with that. So now we're going to do the roll. Right, we'll just get rid of that one for now. We'll copy and paste the others at the end. Okay, now I have an idea how to do this quicker. So, you know, all we really have to do is use these diagonal, up, left, down, etc. right to do the roll. We just copy and paste them, because as you can see, if we put that on top, that looks like she's rolling upwards. We want it to roll down instead of upwards. So really that probably should be, well, we can just literally flip it 180 degrees or vertically. I think we'll get the same effect. I don't know about the shadow though, like realistically that the light would still remain where it should be, and that might be flawed on these actually. Maybe you see how we flipped to this, we when we created the assets we flipped them horizontally, and the shadow has switched as well, but they should be staying the same, shouldn't they? That's the proper way to do shadows. The shadow shouldn't move. So that we might have to just flip the lid actually, just to fix that. That will solve the problem with the rolling as well. It's going to look weird animated otherwise if the shadow keeps flickering. So this shouldn't be too bad to do. We just need to hang on. The one underneath needs flipping. Hang on, I'm confusing myself here. Let's go back to the start. What's going on? I didn't delete anything. Oh right, yeah, let's do it again. It's because there was another layer and it was hiding the fact that that was partly chopped off. That was a confuzzled one. There we go. But that should be... Yeah, it's as simple as this. I just delete the bit that's under the lid. I'm surprised I didn't notice that before. Sometimes you don't. Just going to delete that because it's hard to tell what I've deleted and what I haven't otherwise. So there we go, we've got the shadow where it should be there. So really we just want to copy and paste that so it's on the others as well. All right. Yeah, we might need to merge them actually because it didn't seem to be working that way. We got to do the same for the other barrels too. Got an extra pixel there, but I'm not going to do them right now because we're only focusing on getting Carol sorted for the time being. But that has put the shadow where it should be. We forgot about that when we flipped it horizontally. Hi Kay, how are you doing? What do these barrels contain? Well, it's a mystery what's in them right now, but for the purposes of why they're being stolen, they're going to be used for nefarious deeds. Raindrops. That's why the game's called Raindrop Chronicles, because raindrops are going to be inside them. There's definitely a story behind it, and I'm going to make some videos as well. Once we've like 100% fleshed out that plot, because we're still filling in some gaps. There'll be like a section on YouTube, a sort of series that I'll make that are lore videos on the game. How are you doing there, Kay? Hope you're having a good day today. How is Final Fantasy 14? Right, so that is done. So we can merge those layers. I don't think there's any weird visual glitches I've missed. So let's merge them. Oh no, where's Carol's roll gone? Did I accidentally delete her? I think I did. Luckily it's easy enough to redo. So. I'm good, how are you? Hungry. I'm going to be going downstairs and getting a snack soon. Because I'm starting to get tummy rumbles, which is what usually happens at about 5 PM during a stream. But I'm one of these people that when I'm getting carried away doing something, it's hard to get my butt off the chair. Okay, so was it this one? I think this is the one we need because we want it to roll down. That's the gap, the goal. Cannot speak. So that, oh, we got an extra pixel. I see. A cheeky pixel. There we go. So that means there's a pixel there that shouldn't be there as well. We'll fix that after. So down, and then she's gonna have, I think it'll be this one then. So we only need the 4 assets, and then it's just a matter of repeating them. So she's spinning. Okay, so we'll just see how this goes. Let's get these assets in place, and then we'll test it in RPG Maker and see how it looks. But she's definitely going to spin. I'm still debating on whether to add a little bit of face on the sides, because I do think it'll visually look even better if we did do that. But it the last time we attempted doing that, it looked a big old mess when we did their sideways faces. They weren't as easy to do as Oliver's side faces. So I just need a bit of time to think how I'm going to approach that. I think it would only show their eye, to be honest, like the one eye. Probably not the mouth. We'll see. But if we do that, then we'd have to add that bit on the roll animation too. Merge visible, and then we'll copy it in all the columns, and then we'll test. And then I'll go for my snack then. I want to see if it's working first. Yeah, I'm not even sure if we need to put them on the left and right column. It might only be the centre one that we need. But I do it anyway. Okay, so we've already, let's get Photoshop off for you guys. So we've already got the graphic change. So now that graphic's changed, all we need to do is make turn left, turn right, turn up, and then down. So I think, yeah, that will make us spin on the spot. If we want to make her actually move, we'll have to do the move instead of the turn. But I want to test it first and make sure the animation is actually looking okay before we do that. Okay, it's too quick for a start, so we need a wait in between. Don't know whether 10 frames is enough, we'll say. Might be too much as well. I can't even see what's happening because everything's just happening so quick with the animation. But I think we can change it to move. So just move left instead. So that should do it. And she's there, so or she really only has to move one down. Okay, this is interesting because she could potentially roll on the spot but still move, but I don't know if that's possible to do, but visually that could look better than if we just have that. I'm going to Google if something is possible to do in this software because I'm really curious now. So give me a moment. I think what makes it more challenging is that it's such a small cart. It makes the movement seem even more noticeable because there's literally only 5 tiles. And what I'm actually trying to see if we can do is if you can like move in small, tiny increments rather than a whole tile. And I don't know, maybe that's a bit ambitious for RPG Maker. Would be pretty cool if it did exist though. You like what you've done with the main menu? Thank you. Hi Quantum Data, I don't know anything about making games, but can you just add multiple instances of the weight to 10 frames? For which bit? Yeah, what I'm trying to do, I'm pretty sure it's a bit complicated, to be honest. It might be not a simple solution, but it could be visually look much better if I could do it. Move root extras, because as you can see there's tiles in RPG Maker, and when the character takes a step, like just one step, they move a whole tile. And when it's a big map it doesn't really look that noticeable, that step, but when you're in a tiny cart with just 5 tiles, that's 5 tiles long and 3 tiles wide, that step is pretty big. And Carol is here and she's going to roll and knock into Hank. That's what we're doing with this scene. But she only has to move one step to do that. And it just seems a bit sudden, especially as she's rolling. So what I was hoping to do was make her move in tiny like increments so that she can roll a lot more. Like she can spin a lot more rather than just do 190 degrees turn and be done with it. It would just look better, but it's definitely something, you know, that might not be a thing just because it's breaking RPG Maker on how you move a character. Makes sense now, thanks. Yeah, it's a little bit complex to explain, but I think that you hopefully it makes sense. It's something I've never even considered before, but since doing this scene in the cart, it's just making, when they move the characters, it just feels like they're taking giant leaps because of how small the area is, especially little Oliver the cookie jar, because he's so small. When he takes a single step, it's like he's like jumping over a big and I think he'd work well if he could just move in little tiny bits, because every tile is 48 pixels, I think. So for such a small character, that 48 pixels is massive. And sometimes you wonder, sometimes it'll work when it's a lot smaller, that movement. But I've just Googled it and I don't know if it's a thing, which is unfortunate. There's something here though. I'm going to get the internet up. Move route extras, it's called. This script was written to fill gaps in the move route commands. Jump forward to X space is jump to an event or X and Y position. Jump forward X spaces. I'm curious if that's it. Or even that, move to an X and Y position. It would mean we'd have to like plot the coordinates to do it, which would be annoying, but at least it would work. I'd rather it just be more simple that it was that, but maybe that's it. I can't see what else that would mean. But that's about jumping to another event, that is, but it does say or an X and Y position, but that could be it, the first one. This could be the thing. And it looks simple enough. All it involves is scripts. It doesn't, does it say? Yeah, I think you can do the scripts within the move event thing. Move route of extras. Have I already got this plugin installed? Because sometimes I have already installed them. Shy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? We're doing some I'm trying to be ambitious, you know. I'm trying to think, I want to make this scene look really cool, so I'm pushing its limits. So I'm trying to do something here that isn't really possible in this software, but there might be a plugin that solves it. I'm hoping. I'm not 100% sure yet, but we'll soon find out. But it's just going to make the carol rolling scene look better. In all honesty, it could look really bad. Well, not bad, but just not that great if we do it how RPG Maker lets us do it. So we'll try and see if we can get it working. Yeah, I've already got the plugin installed. You know, I thought I did. I thought I had it installed. So let's just figure out how to do this. Oh my goodness, Swedish Beard, how are you doing? The sick boy, you're sick as well. We've got True Boldy sick as well today. Hope you get better soon. What's happened? How is everyone? I'm doing good. It's wonderful to see you, Beard. How is life? Catch me up on things. Right, so Move forward X tile. So X is across. We don't want to move the X tiles, we want to move down. We might have to do it this way. The step towards X and Y coordinates. So let's see if this works. I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet. We'll soon find out. So we'll test it with Carol. So this is the point where she starts rolling. Script. I want to see an example of how they've done this script, because I want to know the exact position to put it in. But it looks like there's no screenshots. I'm going to read the instructions again. Stomach virus. Life in general otherwise is good, work is good, a apartment is getting really nice, and just everything is in order. Well, I'm glad that life is good and work's treating you well too. And it's awesome that you've got your little apartment too. How are you, Rose? I'm doing good. We just launched our website for Raindrop Chronicles as well. And your characters also there on the characters page, Beard, as well. So I'm going to just put that command in chat again, just so people know about it. I like to spam it. Proud of you for doing all this. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm very like into it. Is that the word to use? I'm into it. It's just a lot of fun to do. No music today, I just noticed. Oh yes, the reason why we've not got music in the background right now is because we was doing some sound testing earlier, so we turned it off. But right now we can put it back on actually, because we're not doing that anymore. So I'm gonna press play. I'm going to take my earphones out too, because sometimes they start to hurt my ears after a little bit. You've come so far with Raindrop Chronicles, over 100 streams. Oh my god, that's a lot. I know, right? Remember when I was a baby and I only just started doing this? It's pretty crazy. And I mean, even back in September, when I started streaming 4 times a week again, because I had a little bit of a break over the summer. We was only like on stream 20 back in, even in just September, so from then to now we've come a long way. Makes sense. And all the VODs are on YouTube as well. I've been really consistent with uploading them. I thought I'd get a backlog, but I've been keeping up with them, so yay. Okay, so let's get an understanding of how this plugin works. Where has it gone? Got so many. There. No, not that one. This one. It doesn't give instructions or anything. It's got examples of use. It seems like it's just easy and you just put the script there. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to use the coordinates one, I think. I think it's the only one that really applies. If we use these, it just means tiles. Okay, so we're going to have to just experiment and test and see what happens. We might not want the weight frames in anymore, because then she'll be taking forever to move if we do it this way. I'm not sure what the coordinates are though, so I'm going to just put it anywhere for now. We might have to do a little bit of testing to find out. Unfortunately, the software doesn't tell us. It does tell us the tile coordinates, but not the pixel coordinates, I believe, and this is what we're doing it for. Get rid of the weight frames. Oops. Honestly, I'm kind of not expecting this to work. It would feel a little bit too good to be true if it did. I'm kind of expecting something to go wrong. Things are never this easy. Yeah, I'm following YouTube. Oh, yay. The homepage looks awesome. So proud of you, Rose. Yay. I wanted to make it look super dynamic. And somebody came in on Friday saying how dynamic it looked. I was like, yay, I did it. That was the goal. I wanted it to like really be in your face sort of thing. So people would be like, oh, what's this? It was dynamic. Dynamic and super visual was the aim. The ultimate compliment then, it was. So it's going to be updated a lot. The site is like every time we get a bit further, take a bit further in progress, the content will be updated, because we're posting each story so far video with every new story quest we do. And I'll probably be working on the second one. Maybe this month, all going well, because I think that we'll be ready to have some more an update at that point. Need to keep writing the backstory for more. Yeah, well, feel free to, because I let you guys do what you want. Like some people are like, oh, I'll make a character, but you can have total control with what you do with them, you and the Twitch chat if you'd like. But other people like want to write their own backstory for them. So if you do want to do that, just get a doc up and pop it in the Discord, and that will be cool. I know that Akira and a few others have done that with our characters, so yay. Chub Cheeks has as well, yay. But your character's super cool because he's a sorcerer, and he's going to be the only sorcerer as well, because I want to keep their job specialisms exclusive to them. Like Rose is a vampire and she'll be the owner vampire, and I'm sure there's going to be more vampires in the game, of course, but as playable characters, she's going to be the only one. There'll be NPCs, I'm sure, that might be like have the same job. A bad sorcerer. He's super interesting. I'm looking forward to introducing him. Okay, so I'm going to do a test of this because I'm curious if this is actually going to work. And then I'm going to go on a quick BRB and get a snack because I'm hungry. I feel like something will definitely go wrong, but we'll see. Gonna pop a few questions in DM later if that's okay. Yeah, sure, feel free to ask anything you wish. What is going on with Carol? So I don't know if it did work, but the reason why it probably didn't is because it's all happening so fast. That's probably why. So I didn't even check if she was on the side, so I don't even know. I'm still not sure if I've got the script set up right in all this, so I would have liked to have seen a screenshot, but we'll work it out. I'm going to have to do another test play to look at that again. I need to work out what's going on here. Okay, so she does roll, and I did see the movement in the roll, which is great, but she's definitely not taken the steps that she should. I don't think we need her on. I've worked out something I might have done wrong actually. I don't think we want to be using the move. I think we need the turn left ones. We need to turn instead of move. So let's see what happens now, because that is probably why she was moving across the screen. We want her to stay on the spot at the moment. And once we've figured out the coordinates and the script, we can start moving her vertically to roll into Hank. It's one of these really fiddly bits, getting it just right and working as we want, but the rewards from doing it are great. Okay, what happened then? I have to watch it again. Everything happens so fast that you have to sometimes watch these things multiple times. It makes me wonder if the script has worked, because she shouldn't be moving across the screen now. So I am gonna move the script, get rid of the script just temporarily to see what happens when it's not there. So I kind of want to see if it makes a difference. If things change now I've got rid of it, then we know it's working, so that's a good thing. Sorry for not being on more often. I'm working when you start streaming, and when I come home it's like the usual cook, dinner, wind down. I'm going to try and catch the late parts of your streams in the near future. That's awesome, Beard, and it's totally understandable because life takes over and all. You just pop in whenever you feel like you want to, my friend. No pressure from me. I'll always welcome you no matter what, even if we've not spoken in 10 years. I'll never be like, how dare you be gone, you're not my friend anymore, go away. I'll never do that, because I'm one of these people that I can do that too. Like, I can be busy and then not realise I've talked to a friend for so long, so I kind of relate. And when I do have friends that get all salty at me for not talking to them, I don't like that. You're welcome. Also, need to see that again. I think she's still moving, which is unfortunate. Which means the script didn't work if the scene looks the exact same. Also. Okay. It's just repeating, that's what's happening. So we got to stop the repeat. Oh, it's on parallel. Yeah, well, it should be on parallel, that's fine, but because it's on parallel, it'll constantly be running, so we need to just put a wait command down here. 1,000, no, we'll have it on 600 frames, because that way there'll be a pause. When I started watching your streams, it was because of me not having a job and having a lot of free time now, not so much. Oh yeah, for sure. Like, it'd be the same for me if I started working somewhere, which might have to happen at some point, but I really want to make sure that even if I do have to get another job, that that I still do Raindrop Chronicles no matter what. Schedules would just have to change is all, but it can definitely be difficult for sure to get that balance. Welcome back, Azriel. How are you doing? I was in every stream from start to finish. Now I can't, unfortunately. You were here a lot, Beard. For sure, but if you're not the only one at all. There's a lot of people that used to come a lot too that are busy now as well. It just happens. Hey, it's been a while. Hi G Shuford, how you doing? I'm Big. Oh my gosh, that is a rude name. It is a JRPG. Well, I say it's a JRPG. It's difficult to call it that when I'm not a Japanese person, you know, but it takes inspiration from JRPGs, and it also takes inspiration from Western RPGs too. I'd say that it's taken inspiration from both. Visually, it's very JRPG inspired, but and battle system wise as well. But the actual way we approach quests in the game is actually going to be more Western RPG. So it's definitely a mixture of the two. It's quite a name. Shoe is fine. Yeah, Shoe's good. I'll call you Shoe. Flowing emotes, don't remember that. Oh yeah, we've always had the Kappa. Is it called Kappa Gen? Yeah, we've always had the Kappa Gen. Sometimes you don't, it's not. You don't realise because there's no emotes at the time, but when there's a lot of hype, we see But how are you guys doing? I hope you're having a good day. And if you haven't seen the website yet, folks, those of you that have just popped in, don't forget to have a peep. Also, let's view that again. So because we like doing some testing of the scenes at the moment, there's actually a lot of dialogue that happens at the start of this, but we're doing an action scene at the moment. It's going to be a cart hijacking, and we're just putting that together. We don't have to go through all the dialogue at every single test play, so because it would take forever. Okay, so I think it's working, but I'm not sure the script is going to work. But the script would be really useful because it would allow us to move the characters in little increments rather than be forced to just move a tile. Because it's very big, the movement's very huge. It's 48 pixels. And I'd rather it be something like, for this particular scene, I'd rather the barrels move and be a lot more gradual. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the internet because I want to see the set. I'm doing the setup wrong for this plugin. Has this person done it? This is another thing here. I don't know if that's relevant for what I'm doing now. Hi Richard, welcome back. How are you doing? Thank you Steve Beans for the follow. Welcome. I'm going to just catch up with chat a sec. See how you guys are doing. You like this sweater? Why, thank you. Do you know any programming languages? I do not. Guys, if you want to, honestly, the website is the place to go if you want to know information. I have an about section in the footer, so it'll tell you a bit about me. And it does mention I'm not a coder or anything. So obviously you have to code to make games, but that's why we're using RPG Maker, because it's a lot easier to do that when you're not. It's not a code heavy project, in all honesty. It's very much about, you know, it's storytelling, it's putting together a story. So you're not, when you come into these streams, you're not going to see tons of programming language up on a dark screen or a light screen or anything. That's not what you see. You mainly just see us being nerdy and nerding out about barrels. Barrels, which are our characters in the game. Lots of world building, story discussion and ideas in that regard, for sure. Domesticated ferret. Gotta run. Take care, Shay. Do the barrel roll. Yeah, that is definitely what we're trying to pull off, folks, today. So if you're wondering what on earth we're trying to do, our goal is to make Carol roll in this cart. She's going to roll into Hank, and there's something really tragic is going to happen. Also, could you even see the barrels then? I don't think you could, but there we go. So she's gonna roll, and I'm just trying to like do a few little things to get it looking good as possible, because there are a few limitations with the cutscene making in RPG Maker. So I'm having to look outside the box at some scripts on the forum to see if we can pull something off, because I'm very detailed in my cutscene making. I like to put in the effort, so if we can spend a bit of extra time doing something to make something better, then totally I will. Just figuring it out to get it working is the thing, because it's a bit not straightforward. That's a cute barrel. Yeah, she's lovely. She's a lovely barrel. I said I was going to get a snack and I never did I? I feel like there's no point now, because we're coming towards the end and I want to finish this, so I'll wait till after stream to eat. So what's this? Game app interpreter. Yeah, I just wish there was a few screenshots, because it can be a bit confusing how to get the setup right, because this is the way I'm doing it and I don't know if it's the right way. I always work it out in the end. There was one like huge troubleshooting issue last month before I did the website, and I did it in the end, so sometimes it takes a bit of time to work it out. Well, to make an entire game by yourself is quite a challenge, it is. Especially if you want it to not be messy. Like, if you want it to actually be good, then it's definitely even more of a challenge. But I just feel like if you're going to do it, you might as well do it properly, right? But thank you, Beard. So I'm using this script at the moment, and I don't know if this is the right one. So I'm going to check the plugin file again. Final Fantasy VII music, nice, yeah. I've got a Final Fantasy playlist in the background. So it's 9 hours long actually, so I tend to play that in the background during streams. Thank you, thank you for the follow. Maybe I should use that one instead of the step towards one. Probably do a bit of this off stream tonight, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get very far in terms of progress because I have a few unfortunately boring errands to run today. Student loan stuff. Damn. So I've got to fill in forms and that, so that might take up a bit of my evening. But usually I do this off stream in the week. Hi Atlantia, how you doing? It's good to see you. You fainted so many times because of freezing on this track. I don't even know what track it is because I haven't got my earphones in, but I know it's going to be a good one because every Final Fantasy VII one is nice. Rosie's a big JRPG fan. Sam's making own JRPG game. Yeah, you know what I mean. I definitely take a lot of inspiration from the old school JRPG sort of style. Oh, wow. Did you just see Carol there? Okay, so the script worked. It worked. So I'm very happy, but it obviously went very wrong. But yeah, she just flew off the screen. That's a good sign now. The reason why it did that is because I put in the wrong coordinates on purpose to see if that would happen. I put the script this jump to 10-10, and it worked. She moved into a really funny position off the screen. Thing is though, I need to figure out the right coordinates. That's going to be the challenge because it doesn't exactly tell me what the coordinates are, so it's all just guesswork, and you get a bit closer each time. And this is just something we're doing for this particular bit because we want the role to look super realistic. That barrel yeeted, you guys saw it. Yeah. It's always the barrels. Everybody loves the barrels. I feel like the barrels are the MVP of the game. But it's because they're unique. I mean, what other game out there has sentient talking barrels? No game. Only this one. Did you make the art? The barrels, yes, is my my own art. But I have taken a few features from the default RPG Maker generator for the barrels because so they keep consistent with the rest of the characters in the game. So some of the assets, yes, will be original, but a lot of them are also existing ones just to save time. But there's always like times when you have to make heavy edits to get your desired visual look. If you want a character to look a certain way or a scene environment to look a certain way, then yeah, there will have to be heavy editing involved. But yeah, if I was doing it completely 100% from scratch, it would like increase the development time a fair bit. And considering we're doing everything else, like the writing, the scenes and the story and everything, the battle system, we would be here till I was an old lady. What is wrong with my sentence building? Went to another dimension. I think that's a good way to put it. The intro screen looks really nice. Yes, the logo I did myself. And so it's like a mixture of things. I guess you can just say I'm putting it together the best way I can. You know, all in all. Right, what is happening? Where's Carol? She's gone. I didn't even see what happened to her that time because I wasn't looking at the screen. But she's gone. Let's look again. It's so funny. The coordinates, we must be really far off with them. Poor Carol, this cart hijacking isn't treating her well right now. She's off screen, in all honesty. We're too far out. We're gonna have to make the coordinates a bit bigger now. I'll be just happy when she stays on the screen, because once she stays on the screen, we'll know that we're close. Now we just have to alter the X and Y values to our liking until we get them where we need. Gotta go, my people need me. Oh, you mean you're really going, or that's dialogue Beard? What is that Beard or Carol that's saying that? So good to see you. Yeah, you too, always. She jumped downwards to the right last time, and this time she seemed to jump upwards and to the right. Yeah, it's just like, oh, what happened? It's just working it out, isn't it? Each step at a time with these things. But the coordinates were very off both times. It was just down the first and up the second. She just disappeared then. She just like completely went. I mean, the good thing is that the script is working. We know it's working, because if it wasn't, then she wouldn't be jumping into these weird positions. But it's just getting her in the desired location. So I am definitely going to be messing about with this tonight, because probably not going to finish it now. So I'm going to mess about with it, and then hopefully by the start of tomorrow's stream I'll be able to come on and say, oh, I did it. We got Carol moving exactly how we should into Hank. So if I can do that tonight, get to that point where I've got Carol's movement sorted, her role, then we can spend tomorrow doing the next part. But yes, lots of detailed cutscene making, which can be a very time consuming part of the RPG make. That's why we've spent a lot of time lately working on cutscenes, because we want it perfect. But it's totally worth it, because we get a good cutscene then. Well, she jumped down. Oh, I've already read that bit. I think a JRPG would be so much more complicated. You made a Bleach fighting game in RPG Maker 10 years ago for college. Oh, really? You can do fighting games in RPG Maker, like a Tekken style one? That's interesting. I figured the RPG Maker was like perfect for like traditional RPGs. I assumed that making another genre in it would be more complicated. Is there a way to move it to the relative coordinates? we'll see. I'm not sure because I haven't really read the instructions that well, because I tend to not be able to focus and read instructions on stream. Otherwise I'd literally be like this all stream if I had to read instructions. So I tend to like not be able to focus on stream, but I'll be able to like have a proper read and a proper look into this, and hopefully it won't take too long to do when I'm like focused. Fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping. I can tell you up tomorrow that she's done and we've got her role perfect. Or was it Game Maker? I forgot, but it works similar. Oh right, Game Maker. Yeah, Game Maker's great if you're trying to make a game that you want to be as flexible as possible. And it's not too hard to use, I don't think. I actually downloaded a trial for it a couple of months ago because I wanted to try something out, but it's expired now, and I didn't really get a proper chance to have a look because everything's going into RPG Maker in this project at the moment, so I'm not really able to mess about with other softwares and that, but it's a possibility for the future. But yeah, it's a little bit of a bigger learning curve than RPG Maker, but it's good if you want to make a game that you know you want to have more control over. RPG Maker, I mean, I have found that it can be very limited, but the good thing about it is there's a lot of support out there and a lot of plugins and ways to manipulate the game to your liking, and it's just great if you want to make this kind of RPG. Especially if you've got a story you want to tell and you just want to get to it without spending like months or potentially years learning how to code. Pixel Game Maker is pretty solid too. Oh yeah, is that one on Steam? I think I might have. That one sounds like a familiar one. But I hope you're doing well too, Eric. So I'm gonna have to think about finishing up, guys. But if you haven't seen the tweet on the Twitter, the website link is up there. Feel free to give it a like and spread the word if you want to be awesome. I certainly won't complain. Just going to, oh my goodness, I need food. It is my dinner time though now. Writing stories is amazing and soothing. I know, like some people there's writers out there that want to tell a story, and well, you can easily write a novel, but sometimes you want to make it visual and actually put the cutscenes together and have music in the background. I find that incredible, to be able to tell a story and have everything, be able to get the full experience. And this is kind of something I'm definitely getting out of the project. I'm writing a story, but seeing it. And yeah, it's a story that we still don't know about because we're improvising it, but it's a lot of fun. I think that's what makes it fun, the fact there's a lot of, oh, well, we don't know what's going to happen yet in the game. Okay, so I'm going to pass you guys on to a friend who's streaming. I'm just going to have a peek at who's currently online, folks. So it'd be fabulous if you could join in on a raid. So we've got Rose Red Blood. So feel free to say that with an emote of your choice. Whatever emote you want, folks. Doesn't have to be one of mine. Can use whatever emote you want. So we're going to say hi to Master Emerald. She's doing some artwork today, and she's lovely. She comes in our streams from time to time. Let's get it ready. Thank you, Water, for the follow. Welcome. Thank you, everyone, for the follows today. I'm going to just make sure before we go to leave you with a link to our website. So feel free to check that out. And I'll see you all tomorrow, same time as today. It's stream Monday to Thursday every week. So there we go. Let's get a raid ready. Okay, guys, I will see you all. No, not next week, tomorrow. Take care, guys. Have an awesome day. And thanks for watching and for hanging out.